Welcome back. Let's learn about inequalities. Alright, so far in algebra, we have spent a lot of time working with equations or expressions involving an equal sign, right? Remember that equations state that two expressions are equal. One expression will have the same value as the other expression. And so then, as we've done earlier in algebra, when those equations involve variable expressions, we could solve for that variable and see what would make the equation true. Or in other words, what would make the two sides of the equation equal. But now what we're going to do is consider expressions involving these symbols right here, which perhaps you've seen before. The greater than symbol, the less than symbol, the greater than or equal to symbol, or the less than or equal to symbol. When any of these symbols are contained within an expression, it is called an inequality. And unlike equations, inequalities do not state that two expressions are equal, at least not exclusively, but rather they compare the size of two expressions. We can compare two expressions and see if one is bigger than another, or if one is smaller than another, or if an expression is greater than or possibly equal to another expression, or if one is less than or equal to another expression. Okay, so for example, here I have some different inequalities. The first one here doesn't involve any variables. This probably looks familiar. This is something that you've probably seen before. We have 5 is greater than 2, right? The number that the symbol is open towards is the value that we are saying is greater than the other. And then the side that the symbol is pointing towards, or where that bend is located, is the value that we are saying is smaller than the other value. Okay, so you could read this as 5 is greater than 2, or 2 is less than 5. But then here in algebra, we like to work with variables. So with this example, we have an inequality involving a variable expression. We have 3x is less than 9, or you could also read it as 9 is greater than 3x. And then for our last example here, it's a little bit more involved. We have a variable expression on both sides of the inequality. Specifically, x plus 1 is less than or equal to 7 minus 2x. All right, so these are all examples of what an inequality may look like. More specifically, these last two represent what you might see more often here in algebra. And just like with equations that involve variable expressions, these inequalities that involve variable expressions are not always true depending on the value used for the variable, right? For example, if we have the inequality x plus 4 is less than 7, we can let that x be any value we want, but not every value of x is going to result in a true statement, right? You could end up with a value over here that is not less than 7. And this is different than an inequality like this one right here that involves no variables at all, right? 5 is greater than 2 is always going to be 5 is greater than 2. Nothing is going to change here. This statement is always true because 5 is greater than 2. All right, but down here, we could pick a value for x and see if the statement would be true. So to start, let's say that x was equal to 2. Then we would have 2 plus 4 is less than 7, and 2 plus 4 is 6, so we have 6 is less than 7. That would be a true statement, right? 6 is less than 7, and so when x equals 2, this inequality is true. But now instead of letting x equal 2, watch what happens if we let x be equal to 4, right? If x is 4, we'll have 4 plus 4 is less than 7, and 4 plus 4 is 8, so we have 8 is less than 7, but that is not a true statement, right? 8 is not less than 7, 8 is bigger or greater than 7. So while we did have a true statement for when x equals 2, we have a false statement when x equals 4. And so this is very similar to equations in that not every value for the variable is going to result in a true statement. However, there is a very big difference between inequalities and equations, because in the equations that we have worked with earlier in algebra, we could solve them and find the one solution or the one value of x that makes the equation true, right? If we were to replace this less than symbol with an equal sign, we would have x plus 4 is equal to 7. We could solve this equation by subtracting 4 from both sides, and 7 minus 4 is 3, giving you the solution that x equals 3. So this equation would only be true when x equals 3. But for this inequality of x plus 4 less than 7, there will be more than just one solution, right? X equals 2 will not be the only way to get a true statement. Watch what happens with some other values of x. We're still working with the same inequality, But now let's let x be equal to 1. If x is 1, then we have 1 plus 4 is less than 7, and 1 plus 4 is 5, so we have 5 is less than 7. That's a true statement. Or what about if we let x be equal to 0? We would have 0 plus 4 less than 7. 0 plus 4 is 4, so we have 4 is less than 7, and 4 is less than 7, so that is also a true statement. Or what if we let x equal negative 1? We would have negative 1 plus 4 less than 7, and negative 1 plus 4 is 3, and 3 is less than 7, and so that is also a true statement. And so clearly, there is not just one single solution to an inequality. Instead, they have what we call a solution set, or a specific group of numbers that make this statement true. And this should make sense because, as you've now seen, there are different values that can be substituted in for x in this inequality and result in a true statement. All right, and so the solution set for an inequality will be in the following form. It'll either be expressed as a variable less than a constant or a variable greater than a constant. Notice that it's very similar to our solution to equations, it's just that instead of an equal sign, we have an inequality sign. And by the way, you could also have a variable less than or equal to a constant or a variable greater than or equal to a constant. That could happen as well. All right, so for example, here are some different solution sets that you could have for an inequality. You could have x is less than 1, or x is greater than 1, or x is less than or equal to 1, or x is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, those all represent solution sets for an inequality. The first one here says that you can have any value of x that is less than 1, and that doesn't just include integers, by the way, right? That's not just 0, -1, -2, and so on. You could also have decimal numbers for x, right? You could have 0.25 or 0.1 or negative 1.5, right? Those are still all values that, when substituted in for x, would be less than 1, so they would be part of the solution set. In the same way, for x greater than 1, that would include any value bigger than 1. So x could be 1.1, it could be 1.5, it could just be 2, 3, 4, and so on. But in both of these two solution sets, the value of 1 itself is not included. But that changes with these two solution sets, where we have x less than or equal to 1 and x greater than or equal to 1. These two solution sets are very similar to these two, it's just that 1 is now included. Okay, so for x less than or equal to 1, that solution set still involves all values less than 1, but now it also includes the value of 1. All right, so these two solution sets are almost identical, except this one includes 1 and this one does not. And in the same way, this solution set x greater than or equal to 1 is identical to this solution set x greater than 1, except this one also includes the value of 1. All right, and so since inequalities have solution sets and not just a single solution, as we've seen with our equations so far, it does make sense to graph or get a visual of these solution sets. And we can do that with the help of a number line. For example, if we take a look at our solution set x greater than 1, we could plot that on a number line and have a visual of the values of x that are included in that solution set. And so what you want to do is, first of all, draw yourself a number line. These will represent the possible values of x, or whatever variable you're working with in your inequality, as long as it's in this form of a solution set. And then what you want to look for is what value is the variable being compared to. In this case, x is being compared to 1. So you want to locate 1 on the number line. It's right here. That would be positive 1. And our solution set is all values of x greater than 1. And so on the number line, that would be all values to the right of that value of 1. So what we'll do here to represent that visually is, first of all, draw an open circle at the value of 1. And by drawing it as an open circle, what we're saying is that we're not including that value of 1. Okay, if we wanted to include it, we would fill that circle in. That would indicate that we're including the value of 1, but we're not going to do that here. We don't want to include it, so we'll draw an open circle. And then from that point, you just want to draw an arrow in the direction of the other values that would be included in the solution set. So in this case, all of the values to the right. And so I'll draw my arrow like that, and that would be it. That would be how you would plot this inequality on a number line. Okay, now for another example, let's say we have x less than 1. What will the number line plot for that inequality look like? Well, we're still comparing x to 1, so our focus will still be at the value of positive 1 on this number line, and that value of 1 is not being included, right? We have x less than 1, so we'll draw another open circle at that value of 1, but now the solution set includes values of x less than 1. So that would be all the values to the left of 1 on the number line, right? 0, -1, -2, -3, and so on are all less than 1. So you want to draw an arrow in that direction on the number line. All right, but now what if we do include the value of 1 in each of these cases? That would bring us to our last two solution sets here. X is greater than or equal to 1, or x is less than or equal to 1. Well, when you're including the value of 1 in the solution set, as I mentioned earlier, instead of drawing an open circle, you will draw a closed circle. That indicates that the number, where that point, where that closed circle is included in the solution set. Okay, so in both cases, we're still comparing x to 1, so we're still looking at positive 1 on these number lines, but now we're including positive 1 in both cases. So I'm going to draw a closed circle for both of them. Okay, for this solution set, we're looking at values of x greater than or equal to 1, so it would be all the values greater than 1, or to the right of 1, on the number line, but including 1 itself. So we could finish this plot by drawing an arrow in the direction of those numbers bigger than 1. And then for the solution set where x is less than or equal to 1, we're including 1 as well as all the numbers smaller than it, so all the numbers to the left of 1 on the number line. So I'll draw an arrow in that direction. Alright, that's how we plot inequalities, or more specifically, the solution set to an inequality on a number line. And as a side note, there is an alternative way to indicate whether this number that you're comparing the variable to is included or excluded from the solution set. I prefer to use the open and closed circles, but you might also see this way, where instead of an open circle for not including the value, you'll have an open parenthesis like this, and then when you are including the value, you'll have a closed parenthesis or a bracket just like this. Okay, so that's ultimately a matter of preference. It doesn't matter how you do it, both are correct, but you will see me use the open and closed circles when I plot these number lines. Okay, but now to close out this lesson, I want to end by practicing checking if numbers are part of the solution set for a particular inequality. Hey, real quick, before we get to the next part of this lesson, if you find my videos here at JK Math to be helpful, then I'd like to invite you to join my membership site JK Math Plus, where you get access to many perks, including bonus content and my exclusive community. The bonus content includes dark mode versions of my videos, extra example problems, and more, while the community is a private space online where you can post questions, have discussions, and study together with me and other members. To learn how to join and see a full list of everything you'd get access to as a member, you can head over to jkmathematics.com/plus. I'll have a link for that in the description of this video. Okay, so if you're interested in becoming a member, feel free to check that out, as it's a great way to support me and the tutorials I make, as well as a great way for you to learn math better. But for now, let's get back to the lesson. And so here is that example. We want to determine which of the following numbers are solutions of the inequality, and the numbers we want to check are -17, +8, -10, and 0, and our inequality is x plus 7 is less than or equal to -3. All right, so really what we're going to do here is take turns plugging in or substituting in each of these numbers in for x in this inequality and see if the resulting statement is true. If it is true, then we know that that number would be included in the solution set, and if the statement is not true, if it's false, then we know that that number is not included in the solution set for the inequality. Okay, and so let's start checking these here. Let's start with -17. If we plug -17 in for x, we'll have -17 plus 7 is less than or equal to -3. And -17 plus 7 is -10, so we have -10 less than or equal to -3, and -10 is less than -3. So that statement is true. Okay, so 17 would be included in the solution set. Let's check the next number. Let's check 8. If we plug +8 into the inequality, we'll have 8 plus 7 is less than or equal to -3. Again, I'm just replacing this x with that value of 8, and 8 plus 7 is 15, so we have 15 less than or equal to negative 3, and that would not be a true statement, right? 15 is not less than or equal to negative 3. 15 is bigger than negative 3. So that is a false statement, which means 8 would not be included in the solution set for this inequality. But now let's check negative 10. If we plug negative 10 in for x, we'll have negative 10 plus 7 is less than or equal to negative 3. And negative 10 plus 7 is negative 3. So we'll have negative 3 is less than or equal to negative 3, and that is a true statement. Negative 3 is less than or equal to negative 3. In fact, it's equal because both sides are negative 3. All right, so this is a true statement, but notice that if it wasn't a less than or equal to sign, if it was just a less than sign, this statement would not be true. Okay, it is important here that you have the less than or equal to sign because then the two numbers are allowed to be equal. Okay, so you always want to be careful with that. Just to make my point more clear, if this was negative 3 less than negative 3, then that would not be true. Okay, but that's not what we had here. The inequality does allow for the two sides to be equal. Okay, but then finally, let's check 0. If we plug 0 in for x, we'll have 0 plus 7 less than or equal to negative 3, and 0 plus 7 is 7. So we have 7 less than or equal to negative 3, but that is not a true statement, right? 7 is bigger than negative 3. It is not less than or equal to negative 3. And so that is a false statement, which means that the only two numbers from these four that we've been given that are solutions to this inequality are negative 17 and negative 10. Okay? That would be my answer to this example. And so that is it for the introduction to inequalities. In the next lesson, we will begin looking at how to solve for the solution sets to an inequality. But before you do that, perhaps you want to practice more with what we've looked at in this video. And so if you want to get some more practice plotting inequalities on a number line, as well as checking if numbers are solutions to inequalities, then feel free to check out my examples video for this topic that I'll have linked here on the screen. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. But if you don't have any questions, this is all I had for now, so I will see you next time.